This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Had a clicking sound on top of the phone was on top of the wire and it was like click, 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 click. Yeah, it kept clicking and clicking and clicking. Yeah. I'll wait a little bit for you guys. Just finished yeah. Yeah, somebody sent me. There's not much in Pauline's case. Yeah, I'm sure it's on some web sleuth's, deep, post somewhere. Oh yeah, I'm finally moving around in Tattooed Tears. I'm literally moving. I'm not frozen. Who you talking to there, Kubi, where it says he can F himself? Who's that? What did somebody do? I'm trying to go up and try to find something. I'm trying to find somebody's comment. Let's see. No, it's about reading chat. 89 millimeters. Can't figure out. No, you like it? Cool. Yeah. I was just waiting a while, let people do their highs and everything. I think it's better. Yeah, you sent me this one of them, right? There isn't really a lot of information, but I was just going to put it up, discuss it anyways. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out who's Kubi's talking about when she said he can go F himself. Who? Is there somebody else up there? I couldn't figure out who you're talking to. I was trying to see if I needed to block somebody.
You're the best.
Didn't seem like it was out of place. Maybe it was about Pauline or something. I don't know. You got me. It's confusing. You got me. Oh, maybe she thinks I was talking about her when she said, I guess I better be quiet or something. And then I said, yep, but I was actually talking to something else from above. Somebody asked me what my problem was. Gosh, that's not very nice, Kubi. Jeez. That's mean. That's so mean. You know, what's weird is there's Miss Rodriguez and then Miss, well, hold on. Yeah, there you go. Yep. One more week to go on my 2 weeks notice. Sweet. I don't know if it's the greatest time in the world to start a salon, but you know. I mean, everybody probably needs something, but it seems like they have such hard regulations at this point. Yeah. So anyways, I went up to Seattle today to do my EMG. You know, I gotta tell you, those those aren't really pleasant at all. Okay, they're absolutely not pleasant. You know, they do. You know, when you have static electricity, that shock you get. Well, they do that, but in all these different places at varying levels. So it'll be like right in your. And they use this device that looks just like a, what do you call it? A taser gun, I guess, with the two prongs at the end. So they put it in your arm on different spots, and they go, and then they record whatever the hell, you know, what got sent to the machine or whatever. And then, but then there was this one spot where they put it right here. And, you know, I got a little shock there, and then the actual doctor, he was training two other doctors, but he's like, no, I think you got to do it different. Then he puts it in there and turns it on and goes, bang! I mean, just like 50 times stronger than all the other ones. Just shot down, and it was to affect all of the nerves and muscles. It was like, you know? It was crazy. I mean, it literally, like, I mean, I just jumped out of the bed there. It was horrendous. It was amazing. And then all the rest of them are like, basically like getting static electricity. This thing was about 100 times any of that shit. And then let's see. So I had that. Oh, and then after they do that, they take a needle, a skinny needle, and they jam it into your like bicep. And then while the needle's in your bicep, they kind of move it around until it gets to a certain, I don't know, something. And then you have to like bend your arm while the needle's in there and make your arm tight. Then they put one in my tricep. Then they did one like in my forearm, and then one down in my thumb, then the one back like in my neck and then shoulder. It's just brutal. And then they record the electricity coming out. And it turns out that when it's all said and done, he was able to determine just doing that so I guess our nerves are sort of like wires. They even have the little coating, you know how like a black wire has the coating on the outside? Well, I guess they call that a sheath for your nerves. And normally you just have those, if you stretch that, it can create nerve issues for a while. 3 to 6 months type of thing to get better. But in my case, it turns out where there was actually damage where some of the nerves got cut somehow, and they can grow back and all that shit. So apparently it's going to be like a year to 2 years before I get back to sort of a normal, like back to where I was before. You know? So it's not good. I don't know if Kubi left. I think she thought I was talking to her. I was reading how that conversation went. I think she thinks I was talking to her on one of those parts. So if you're out there, Kubi, you got it wrong, okay? You got it wrong. Well, good for you, Darlene. Good for you. All right, what do we got? Well, I don't know. She seems like she was upset. She said, like, go F yourself. I don't know if she was talking to me, but maybe she was. Yeah, maybe she was. Wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. It doesn't hurt. Nothing hurts. I don't have any pain at all. Yeah. It just hurt during the procedure. That's what hurt, you know. It was just like a lot of pain, That's all I can tell you. Really weird feeling. It's just such a weird feeling when you have like a needle stuck in your arm. They jam it in there and then you're supposed to move your arm around. Something like that. Oh, yeah. Well, if she's in a lot of pain, I'll accept the getting cussed at. It's always good, you know, to be able to yell at somebody when they're in pain. I had, I don't know if it's the same thing. I've had slip disc things where it hurts and you're like, oh man, you know, it's always shitty. But then I also had one time, about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was just reaching to turn a light switch and just this weird pain in my lower back, and I couldn't breathe or anything. And then I fell on the ground and I was just sitting there, and that took like 3 weeks. And that's when I started using the inversion table. That works good. So if you're out there and you don't have an inversion table, you should get one. Oh, and they swore in the next Supreme Court nominee. Good to see. And anybody out there that's bitching about it, I'll only accept your bitching if you actually believe that the Democrats, if they had the presidency in the Senate, wouldn't have nominated somebody. Okay? Other than that, I do not want to hear any bitching at all. But if you truly believe that Nancy, you know, the Chuck Schumers and the Pelosi's of the world wouldn't have nominated somebody, then I'll accept it. But I also will believe that you're delusional if you believe that. Okay? Because they are ruthless. They'll do whatever it takes to get something done. Yeah. So what I was going to talk about too, for at the beginning of the show, is, and I don't even care if I burn the bridge of this Facebook group, but it's one of the stupidest bunch of people I've ever seen in my life, and I don't even really know how to. Maybe dumbest is a better word. I don't even know how else to explain it, to be honest with you. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, David. Yeah. They're just trying to get onto the show now. Yeah, crazy storms going on out there. Must be global warming. And I always think it's funny when somebody... I'm not saying global warming isn't a thing, but we don't know if it's just the cycles, or a lot of people think, oh, it's man-made. Who the hell knows? Here's what's crazy, though. It's like, there was a tornado in Brooklyn a few years back, and they go, oh my God, it's global warming, there's a tornado. The last time a tornado happened in Brooklyn, New York was in 1825, or whatever, right? Well, then you go, well, how come there was one in 1825? You know, you ask yourself, why was there one in 1825 then? That's weird, right? Sounds like you needed to build an ark over there, David. Maybe collect some animals side by side, that kind of thing. Now, I'm not going to tell you which Facebook page it is. I'll show it to you in a minute. It's just a Facebook page on the Delphi case. Ludicrous. Absolutely insane shit. I mean, you might even be in there. I'm just going to show you the post, basically. Absolutely moronic stuff. And everybody's like, wow! So I can bail. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was saying. That was what the joke was, David. Yeah. You stepped on the joke by actually saying Noah's Ark. Yep. Yeah, so lately, the Delphi case has turned back into the shit show that it was at the beginning 3 years ago, with all these new awesome sleuth YouTubers out there. You know, ooh, look what I see, look what I see. I mean, literally, they're talking about seeing teddy bears in the woods, okay? Teddy bears and bodies. And then you got another YouTuber who's this real, world's expert in audio. So what they did was they took the audio from the released Delphi audio of, hey guys, down the hill. Oh my God, did you hear how great he sounded like him? Oh my God, he's the suspect. You know, shut the hell up. All right. They took the audio, and you know how there's that other like sound in there? They think that was the FBI putting a sort of encrypted filter on that, and they went in and they reversed it out, and they hear all these other words. Yeah, okay. Does anybody actually believe... Look, I just want to let everybody know that whenever you see these people, immediately... Don't just accept it, though. See, that's what I don't like. I see all these posts and videos, and people are like, wow, that's so great. As soon as you see it, you should type in, that's the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, that's what you need to do. Unbelievable. I mean, I would be ashamed if I even thought that there, for one moment, wow, that's interesting. Okay? Because it just isn't. It literally is not interesting. All right, so I'm gonna switch over to right over here. You see? Now here's the page. There's like 11,000 people in here, and look at this. If you go watch this idiot's video here, even though he likes my videos, he says, "Oh yeah, I like your video. You're doing good work." Okay, but you aren't. Okay, your work is terrible. All right, I don't mean to say that, but so what they're doing is they zoom in, and yes, okay, if you look at the shapes here, you see the two dots. Oh my God, it's a teddy bear, everybody, and it's got the arms, and it's just look, it's there. You can find shapes out of anywhere. You zoom in on different things. This is the helicopter footage near the crime scene, and everybody's just so excited about it. And look at this. Well, of course that looks like a shape. Now you outlined something. Okay, now this is what it looked like before. This is what they outlined. Oh, that's a head. This must be a bra or something. And here's the teddy bear sitting there. You know, the teddy bear, you know, it's kind of cool, you know. But it's not real. It's not actually, they're not seeing a teddy bear in there. All right? But it's just the comments. Yeah, good. I said, this one said, my thoughts bogus. Perfect. It says, please tell me where the big teddy bear came from. Do you really think someone carried it along when... I mean, you're actually going to ask, like, legitimate questions about this? I mean, she actually, I think, was pretty smart. Like, later on, she was joking around and stuff. But there's all these people. Some don't. But it's just there's way too many people that actually believe it. The bear could have... Look at... Okay, so after looking it over, the bear would have to be like 3 times larger than a human. It's not real, and it's not possible. Good. See? Boom. Right? Now let's see this one. I won't make fun of anyone over what they see, as I think we've all studied various images and have seen all sorts of things. They eyes do play tricks. You must remember that this is a video taken from a height of a helicopter and through a wooded... Yeah, see, there's people that make sense, but when you go read through the comments, there's a lot of people that are going, wow! Yeah, I'm hoping... See, I went in there, look at they're like circling more here now. I mean, what are you looking at? Let's go back to that original one. So look, somehow they found another... oh, right there. An arm, a head. Oh my God, look at then one knee's up and then a leg. And all because a wacko put out a video claiming to see crap down there. And then look at this stuff. Oh, look, that's what I see. A bear, and he's sitting there, and he's looking through a kaleidoscope. Well, why would there be somebody... Here's what the truth is, everybody. It's a teddy bear dressed up as Bridge Guy. Okay? That's the truth of it. Yeah, I actually typed it in. I go, oh wow, it's a teddy bear looking through a telescope. And I said, the killer is actually a teddy bear dressed as Bridge Guy. Okay? Oh, and then here's a bunch of a huge teddy bear, and so I was letting people know that it's actually a phenomenon called pareidolia. Okay, and what it is your eye makes sense of shapes, you know, like the face on Mars, but the reality of it is it looks like that. Okay, but you know, you go back to the one with the shadows just right, and then all of a sudden it looks like a face on Mars right there. Okay. Yeah, I guess these are other examples. You assign human characteristics or a recognizable shape to an obvious not. Here, let me show you one, for example. Look at this. I found a bear. I actually put this on there as an example. Look, a bear. Look at the arms, the legs sitting there. It's even got the top of its head. If you notice the shadow right there. And then the 2 ears. You see that? It's got 2 ears and then the arms, and it's really amazing. And oh, wait a minute. It was just a piece of popcorn sitting next to a popcorn bowl. You see, it's really easy to come up with these shapes. All right, everybody. So listen, whenever you see this garbage out here, this stuff right here was the first month of the case was out all the freaking time, every second of every day, and that's all people. Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Yeah, so hey, look at Claudia Neubauer. She's in there. She's liking my comments. Got a couple chuckles out of it. See, that's what I like to do. And then people end up saying, let me show you the comments that I got up here. Where are these ones? Ah, crap. I wonder if they deleted those. Maybe they're right here. Oh, yeah. You guys realize this same garbage was put out early on in the case, right? It's complete bullshit. Be happy in knowing you aren't seeing bodies. No need to be rude. I said, I'm just trying to help. Seeing teddy bears is rude and disrespectful to the case. Yep. I stand by that. Okay, anyone pretending they see anything in the helicopter video is doing it merely for attention. It's way too pixelated and blurry to do anything with, despite what people claim. You know the type, the super sleuth image manipulators. Gray? Oh, wait, hold on.
Gray.
Oh, I got...
Gray, you're accusing other people of needing attention? LOL, seriously. Not sure who inflated your ego, but you should probably check it again and leave other people alone. Not one person believes you have a leg up in any of this. You do decent work sometimes, but your holier-than-thou attitude makes it impossible to follow you or take you seriously.
And then right here we've got, yes, amen to that comment, right? Yes, amen. you see that building up, Lee D, right? And then you saw the crime scene tape on the helicopter video. Guess you needed attention. I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't need an ego to tell you that the teddy bear crap and image manipulation is moronic. I just have a brain. You? Oh, right. The crime scene tape glistening so it was obvious people pretending they see the bodies and teddy bears are wackos. Let me guess you guys believe
Future
that...
no bail.
Let me guess. You guys believe that someone back engineered the filters the FBI put on the audio clips released, and now you can hear new words. Right. Anyways. Isn't that crazy? Yep. And look at it, people are trying to be helpful by putting in, like, maybe something like this? A big teddy bear? Or, oh yeah, let me see if I can... I don't know. It makes me want to puke, okay? And there's people literally trying to have a conversation about it. Yeah. So, anyways... I guess Kubi was mad at me because I said I went zzz, boring, but then I was answering somebody else on another one and she thought I was talking to her. Not nice, Kubi, not nice. Yeah, they're crazy people.
Thanks for Sanity Grey.
Yeah, that's what you have to deal with. And the thing is YouTubers, you know, the ones that get a lot of views, they know that people like that just love it. There's more of those types than there are you guys, right? There's more people like you guys, I mean less people like you than there are the people who think that stuff's interesting. And people realize that. I know, but she was mad at me. She said, go F yourself or something. I mean, I didn't do anything. Nah, she was one of the cancel culture types, LM. Yeah. Anybody who supports Trump must support racists. That's what she said. So she didn't like it. Cancel culture. She can't support anybody who supports Trump. That's the term. Yeah, well, I'm just saying I would support any Republican over Biden. That's the reality. It's not like, oh man, I love Trump. He's the greatest human being in the world. Yeah. I think she also thinks I was talking to her, though. Yeah. Hayden. I would have called him Hayden Biden. Doesn't that make more sense? But yeah, it's really lame. It makes me feel bad when somebody says, oh, I can't support you because of a political thing. And she also said it ruins my credibility on everything else because I don't see Trump as a racist. And I really don't. I listen, everybody out there, I do not see him as a racist at all. And a lot of the shit that you guys believe is the way it was edited and put together on television, because I've seen the full thing. Okay? And it's just, it doesn't even make sense technically. Yeah, it's total bullshit. Anyways, I'm going to get going on these cases, all right? Because we got a few to get through over here. No, he definitely isn't. And if you go back through all the years and listen to all those things that were said in their context, they're nothing like that at all. He just didn't say it the PC way that you guys needed him to say it. Drives me crazy. All right, here we go. So the first one here, let me get Google Earth open. I don't even know if it has Google Earth. Got a few things to go through here, though. Come on, Google Earth. I think even if you don't like him, you must know that he's not. I'm not sure what you're talking about, Susie B. How was I brutal to somebody? I just told you how somebody was brutal to me. Here's the thing is, I only don't agree with things that I know aren't true, okay? Who cares? What do you mean? I just say if you think Trump's a racist, you're an idiot, okay? That's just true. You know, that's the truth to it. That means you've bought into all the bullshit sold to you on television. But that doesn't mean that I'm brutal to him. It's brutal because you're probably on the other side, so when I'm talking and telling the truth, you don't like it. But I don't ever say to somebody, "Oh, I'm not going to be your friend because you're on the left." If anybody out there can point to it, let me know. Never been said. I know that's the scary part, Crystal, is that's the truth. They hide all those things from the public that he said over the years. Oh, he's just funny. He's goofy. No, well, it is a truth, Laura. So it's not my show. It's not like, oh, it's your show, therefore it's your truth. It is true, okay? There isn't like some things aren't one way or the other. There is a truth to it. So that's what I'm saying. So whether you can believe he is one, you're just wrong. Okay? That's the reality of it. But no, I'm not saying you can't believe it. And I won't even, I'll just say, go ahead, do what you got to do, vote for who you're going to vote for. That's fine. Yeah, I can't stand the way he talks, like a lot of times. No, it's actual truth. It's not an opinion. Yeah. Yeah. See, that's where the difference is I'm literally, if you can find one thing without just being a little quick soundbite, let me know. Yeah. I didn't see anything deleted. Oh, you mean that one comment about... Yeah. Yeah, well, the thing is that what people do when you're not in chat is they debate using like all of the canned answers, so you can't really actually end up debating them. So they use all the crap that's on television. And then if you try to go, well, no, look at, if you listen to the 18-minute one, watch how it goes through this. Oh, and then everybody gets bored. Right, that's how it doesn't work. No, I can see you there, Susie B. You're right there. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to get onto the stories now. I don't really want to do... I just wanted to bring up the Supreme Court. It was great. But it is true. Is there anybody out there that's a liberal or a Democrat that really believes that if Hillary Clinton had won the presidency and the Senate was controlled by the Democrats, that they too wouldn't have nominated somebody tonight for the Supreme Court? Just be intellectually honest with yourself. And once you're able to intellectually be honest, then you realize that court packing, if you didn't get your way, is totally bullshit. Okay? And that they didn't court pack. The Republicans didn't court pack. They literally just got lucky. That's how it works. And elections have consequences. That's why controlling the Senate had consequences. I just want people to be honest with themselves. Well, whatever you are, Susie, it doesn't matter. I'm just saying, don't you agree that they too would have nominated somebody? Okay? It's just it's honest to God truth. There's no way in hell Chuck Schumer and the Pelosi types of the world, they're so vicious. They are absolutely have no morals whatsoever when they want to get something done. They just get it done. And, you know, I kind of respect that a little bit. You know, it's like, man, they get the shit done for, you know, quote, their team. And they can't stand it when the other side actually has some conviction to get it done. How dare you copy the way we are? Nobody's talking about that, Laura. Nobody's talking about anything about that at all. I'm just saying, on the Republican side, you always have people that cross over, vote the other way. When the Democrats vote, they are like an amoeba, a hive mind, and I'm talking about in the political realm. There's almost never somebody that steps out of line. Joe Manchin, maybe barely on some insignificant bills, but the rest of them, boom, lockstep. We always got the Murkowskis, Collins, and Romney people. Those types. And McCain. And that other clown during the Kavanaugh hearings. No, that's just because that's your side. What are you talking about? I'm not. Listen, there's going to be no unification, Susie. It's already the way it is. Okay, there isn't any. I'm not going to sit here. I mean, I don't mind anybody in here that's voting for Biden. And if you're a liberal or whatever, I don't care at all. I'm just telling you how it is in Washington. The left politicians are literally, they'll do whatever it takes to get anything done at all costs. Just like the Obamacare first bill, they shut out all the Republicans, locked the door, came up with something. Obama said elections have consequences, didn't listen to anything else anybody else had to say, and it got pushed through. Just jammed down your throat. See, that's so hateful. What did I say that was hateful? That was the reality of it. You hear it all the time. They stick together like there's no tomorrow. And I'm talking about the politicians. Yeah, well, you know what? It's right now, I don't think there's any way to get back unless the United States gets somebody, just like I've said 100 times, like Mike Rowe, just a regular, very smart person, but everybody likes him. So it wouldn't matter what side he was on, people would like him, and it would have to be like a third-party candidate that wins, and everybody just kind of likes him, and they work with him, and that's the only way to do it. The way it is now, look at these two candidates that are running right now. You can make an argument like, wow, really? That's it? I mean, particularly, you know, at least, well, I mean, I don't even want to say it, but Biden just, come on. Well, that's how he walks too, Zozo. I mean, it's just really, it's amazing. How did that happen? All those years they couldn't come up with somebody else? Yeah. Mike Rowe is the perfect person to run for president to unify the country. He really is. He's got great ideas on education, the workforce, and he could have everybody else tell him, work with him on anything, but he would be so much more reasonable when he came up with something. The way it is now, there isn't any unifying rhetoric that would help anything. There's nothing. We're beyond all of that. It's hideous in Washington right now. I don't even think there's people that are really friends with each other on each side. Yeah, so to sit there and go, oh my God, we need some... There isn't anything unifying. to say. It's been horrendous for a long time. I wish there was. You know, I'd love to be able to have a unifying comment. So, but I'm not going to be able to. Just not going to be able to. Yeah, see you later, Susie B. It's true, though. I'm done. Oh, poor baby Susie B. Golly. I'm just telling you, there isn't any way to unify anything right now. You get it, right? How is there a way to unify it right now? Doesn't anybody... Don't worry about Susie B. She's just one of those crybabies that came in here tonight, bawling about, like, everybody's not saying everything. You know, I'm just trying to tell you right now that there is absolutely no chance that there's a way to do like, hey, let's all sing Kumbaya, especially after the 4 years of just horrendous treatment. Horrendous treatment. Listen, you know how there's a peaceful transfer of power? He was never able to be president from day one. It was horrible. Oh, here's Susie B again, crying again. You're the one that's creating a lot of hostility in here. I'm just trying to tell you, is there anybody out there that thinks there's some kind of neat little sentence that somebody can make to bring the country together the way it is right now, with how divisive it is on the left, how divisive it is on the right? There is zero commonalities at all. You can't even pass a $1.8 trillion stimulus package because if it comes out now, it would help Trump. So we're going to have to put it out after the election. I mean, how disgusting is that? Come on, Susie B. Just tell the truth. Do you think that there's even a way? Just come up with something. I mean, I'd love to hear something. I don't know how to say this. Okay. Hey, listen, everybody. You know, if the Democrats win, let's just all forget about the last 4 years, and let's give Biden a chance, because he's so great. Wow. Okay, everybody, are you with me? And let's all hold hands. Kumbaya, my lord. Kumbaya. Oh, wait, forget it. It's just, it's not going to happen. It's been so horrific. The way they treated Brett Kavanaugh, the way they treated Trump the entire time from day one. It's not going to happen, you know? 50% of the people will be, oh, yay! And the rest of the people will be in anger. And that's just the truth, and that's what sucks right now. And that's why everybody goes, God, I wish there was a third party. But how would that even work? Because again, everybody that's on the Democrat side would stick with that person. And then it would split the vote on the Republican and, you know. Yeah. What does that mean? Thunder and white waves and... Anyways, Oh yeah, they always loved him before. He was great. Everyone liked, rappers. Everybody thought he was awesome. He was like in the raps. Oh yeah, like Mr. Trump with a, And all of a sudden, oh yeah, now he's a racist. Even though he's made permanent the funding for black colleges, lowest unemployment until COVID hit. All kinds of stuff. And it's just really ridiculous, okay? Yep. Well, we've already killed a bunch of time on the show. I was wondering if I could get on to my actual topics. Is that possible? Yeah. Okay. So this is the one that has almost no information that I could find. But it's the... one of the two that doesn't have a lot of information. Pauline Robbin Burgette. It's actually in Phoenix, Arizona. Alright? There it is. Detectives trace leads in stabbing. This is back in 1978 in March. Detectives worked into the night Monday following possible leads in the stabbing death of a 16-year-old girl. Let me turn this music down a little bit. The body of Pauline Robbin Burgette was found by her mother, Carol Burgette, 37, on the floor of a bedroom in their apartment at, 1626 North 26th in Phoenix. Okay. The place or 26? Yeah, it's 26th place. So right there. God, how come this looks familiar? Have I ever talked about this one? God, it just looks so familiar to me. Haven't I talked about this one? How come I feel like I've been right here. Let me see. It might be ringing a bell. Yeah, I thought I talked about this a while ago. Let's just do it again because it's so short. And maybe it'll ring somebody's bell. Hey, there's Kubi. How's it going, Kubi? Jeez. Detective Harry Jennings and Joe North said an autopsy indicated the girl had been stabbed many times and had been struck by a blunt object. There was no sign of forced entry into the apartment. Investigators said Mrs. Burgette told them she had gone visiting Friday, but had made arrangements for her daughter to stay with friends. The girl never appeared at the friend's home, the officers said. Okay. The girl was in the 8th grade at Cretan School. She had been dead for some time when her body was found, and she may have been killed on Saturday, investigators noted. And this is just about the services. And there, 2004, there was an article on it. That was 1978. So maybe there'll be extra information on these. The headline in March 13th, 1978 edition of the Arizona Republic. Mom returns to find teen stabbed to death. A Phoenix woman came home late Sunday afternoon and found her daughter stabbed to death in their apartment. Police had no leads late Sunday. This is just recalling a 1978 article, but this is a 2004 article. Between 8 p.m. March 11th, 1978 and 5 p.m. March 12th, 1978 at an apartment near 26th Place and McDowell Road. That's where it took place. Burgette, 16, planned to spend the evening with a neighbor while her family stayed with friends in West Phoenix. Burgette was last seen leaving another neighbor's home, and investigators believe she was going home to get something to eat and possibly planning to invite a friend to her apartment. When Burgette's mother and younger brother returned home the next day, they found the teen dead in the apartment they shared. Burgette had been stabbed an undisclosed number of times. The witnesses came forward to assist police. Investigators at the time said Burgette's neighbors were uncooperative with authorities. Detectives have not disclosed a motive in the killing, but investigators said several men whom Burgette dated all denied involvement in the murder. Police have not identified any suspects in the killing. Investigators would not say whether Burgette was sexually assaulted before the murder. What bothers police the most about this case? During the initial investigation, detectives learned some neighbors may not have been providing all the information they knew because they didn't want to get involved. Numerous items, including biological evidence found at the scene, were re-examined by police lab for fingerprints and DNA analysis. Now, if I remember right, a long time ago, there was more information about, like, maybe she had multiple sex partners, maybe. I don't know if I'm conflating this with another, but that's what made the DNA part of it kind of tough, because then it was like, I guess what you could do is exclude, and if you can, how would you know? Let's say all the samples in there were of known people that she was with. How would you know which one was the violent person? Yeah. So, but don't take that for sure, because I could be conflating this, but it really sounds like the same situation. So this is another article in 2014. Burgette, 16, was alive when her mother and younger brother went out of town for a weekend, March 1978. The next time they saw her, she'd been stabbed to death in her bedroom. Police said Burgette stopped by a friend's house on Saturday, March 11th, and mentioned to the friend that she was planning to have her boyfriend over for dinner that night because she had the place to herself. So that's sort of weird. Well, okay, if your boyfriend went over. Her friend told police Burgette left for home about 8 p.m. Police interviews with possible suspects proved fruitless, as has later DNA and fingerprint testing of evidence from the scene. Well, maybe they could do genetic genealogy, and if there's somebody that doesn't seem to match anybody that she knew, because I don't really understand what a motive that the boyfriend would have. Why would the boyfriend have a motive to, stab her to death, and especially if she was going to make dinner for him? Maybe if she was pregnant or something like that, but it doesn't sound like that's part of the case, and he didn't want to deal with it, and she was going to have it. We've seen about 100 of those. But believe it or not, that's it. I mean, maybe there's some more information out there. But that's really... But I think I've actually talked about this one before. I don't know if that part that she was dating multiple people is true to this case, though. It just really reminds me, it was in Phoenix. Another girl about exactly the same age, almost the same circumstances. I just don't remember. It was about over a year ago when we talked about that. Okay, now I'm going to go to the next one. In a second. Okay. Yeah, okay. So this one is Margaret O'Connor, and this is in Florida again. Hold on, I'm trying to remember which one. God, bitches. All right, Joan Kipfer became concerned last week about the 34-year-old neighbor who had come to be like a daughter to him. She had not seen her in days, which was unusual. Then last Wednesday, someone left keys to her neighbor's apartment. Okay, so then last Wednesday, someone left keys to her neighbor's apartment, along with a note asking her to feed the woman's parakeet and parrot. Miss Kipper thought it strange that the bird cages were covered with sheets. She never had seen her neighbor do that, but she fed the birds and waited for the neighbor to come home. As it happened, she might have been home the whole time. Clearwater police detectives found her body wow, this is weird. Monday in an apartment 102 at Royal Orleans Apartments, 606 Limbo Circle. Let me see that. So that's weird. That person who wrote the note might be the killer, right? And covered the parakeets. But why would they do that? Okay, so it's right here. This is 1993. Looks almost like a hotel, doesn't it? Or yeah, basically. Well, more like a mobile, like a motel, not an apartment. All right, so 606 apartment 102. I wonder if you can see these. I can see a number on that. 116. Can't tell if that's 10 something. That might be 102 right there. I bet that's 101 and 102, 3, 4. That makes sense. 5. I can see the 5. Okay, so it's going to be this apartment right there. Police spokesman Wayne Scheller said an autopsy showed her death was caused by extreme criminal violence, but he refused to elaborate. She had been dead more than 3 days when her body was found. Huh, so let's see. What day was that? Then last Wednesday, so this is a week ago, someone left keys, and then excuse me. And then on Monday is when her body was found, but she'd been dead in 3 days. So Sunday, Saturday, Friday. So that means she's been dead since the Friday that the neighbor got the note. That's weird, huh? Police spokesman Wayne Scheller said an autopsy showed her death was caused by extreme criminal violence. Wow, that's so specific. But it was clear from the label on her mailbox and from court records and Mrs. Kipfer that she was Margaret Kathleen O'Connor, known to her neighbors as Kathy or Miss O'Connor, and lived at the complex for about 7 months. They wouldn't release her name, but you could see what her name was, and people knew what her name was. We loved her very dearly, said Mrs. Kipfer, who lived upstairs from apartment 102, and who, with her husband, became parents of Miss O'Connor, surrogate parents of Miss O'Connor. Yes, I know. You know what, everybody? We did talk about politics for a little bit there, but it still doesn't mean that we still aren't trying to raise money for the end of the month. Okay? So, you know, keep in mind, we're going to try to get, I'm going to try to get us up to 18,000 at the end of this month, okay? So, as you guys have seen, we have, right down here, you can see the numbers. Oh, somebody today said, prove you do it. And I go, I do every single show. Okay? We do the donations. I can show you all the receipts. They're in a folder because I need them. All right. But we've got the Texas EquiSearch, 5,000. Innocence Project, 900. Kyron Horman Foundation, 2,700. Wounded Blue Fund, 500. DNA Doe Project, 2,300. Rain, 1,000. I'll probably give some to DNA Doe again. Rain this month. And then Nick Mech, 2,100. FirstResponders.org, 1,000. And there you go. All together, 15,500. So hopefully at the end of this month, we'll be up to 18,000. And then all we got to do is another 2,000 to get to 20. You know what I'm saying? Thanks, Zozo. And you too, Linda Howe, as in Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Crop Circle fame. Yeah? What's the issue? You can't type words in? I can't type words in the super chat myself. I'm not sure what the deal is there. Thanks, Lee D. Ding 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 ding.
Love you all.
Wow, what are you talking about there, Richard Watts? One trick they use is kill them on carpet and cut out carpet and roll them up. Okay, well that was a pretty big downer right away. Let's see. She was there for us. We were here for her, she said. She was a little girl who wanted to be her mother. Wanted me to be her mother, I mean. Her heart was pure gold. Miss Kipfer said Miss O'Connor was very special to her. She spent a lot of nights on my couch because she was it was manic depressive and just needed to be with someone sometimes. She went to church with me and really enjoyed the singing groups. She was always going to get a job and go to AA. Pinellas County records show that since 1991, Miss O'Connor had been arrested for a DUI, 2 counts of disorderly intoxication, and several traffic charges, including driving without a valid license. On Mother's Day, Miss O'Connor sent a handmade card to Miss Kipfer from jail. Miss Kipfer said she and her husband, Jay, knew their neighbor was a troubled woman, but that never affected their relationship. She said They always helped her because they cared about her and as if she were a family member. Hey, thanks, Catty Corner. Her fears about Miss O'Connor were realized when detectives found her body. Miss Kipfer did not want to talk about the case Tuesday for fear of endangering the investigation. But she wondered what kind of person would kill Miss O'Connor. She loved her flowers, the stray cats, her birds, she said. Every one of her guys she had me meet, they were going to marry her. She was just a sweetheart. Alright, so then, just the next day, they did identify her the next day. They have identified the woman whose body was found Monday in her modest apartment, Margaret Kathleen O'Connor. They would not specify the types of wounds O'Connor suffered. And this is what she looked like right here. She kind of looks how they described, right? Oh, you guys can't see. Sorry. Let me switch over. I forgot that I changed screens. Right there. Yeah. Yeah. I think the image is squished. Like, I think you'd have to make it a little bit more like, here's probably what it was supposed to look like. That's not normal. You can tell. Sometimes they screw up on the aspect ratio. Let's see. I would say, I'm going to guess, let's make that like 350. That's probably a little too much. How about 390? See, I think that's probably more what the real image would look like right there, right? See, that doesn't look as squished down as they had it. Things look more proportional. See, a lot of people like to do that stuff. What they'll do is they'll take an image like this. And this happened in the Kanika Jenkins case. So they'll put it like... And then they'll show this picture and they go, wow, look at that. Like she, weighs more. And then all of a sudden there's another picture where the aspect ratio is correct. And then they'll say, see, that's a dummy. They put a person in there. Look at this, totally different person. They're lighter. And I'm like, no, look at, do you see the difference in the shape of the... Yeah, it's just becomes a nightmare after a while. No, most of the time you make sense, Richard. It's just, it just takes a second or two of deciphering, but then it makes sense. I was just wondering what you were bringing up the carpet incident about. Why you brought that up. That's what I was wondering. All right, then they have... Well, there you go. There's a pic. That's what she looks like. Okay, so when you look at that picture, that looks like the second one that I did, right? Totally normal. This is on Facebook from 2016. On this date back in 1993, Margaret O'Connor was found slain in her apartment. Her homicide remains unsolved to this day, but our cold case detectives are committed to finding her killer or killers. If you have any information on this case, call 727-562-4242 or email us at tip@myclearwater.com. You can also call Crime Stoppers of Pinellas County at 1-800-873-TIPS or use the, oh, there goes my stomach, Tip 411 system by submitting your tip and the keyword CWPD to 847-411. All right. Yeah. You are in top form. I'm top form. That's pretty good. All right. Got to give you some credit for that one. Let me look it up on this site here really quick. Wow. It's wild. Okay, yeah, see, this is a site that has it squished. Let me see if they gave away here. Okay, she died as a result of asphyxia and blunt force trauma to her head. Okay, so this actually gave us, finally, out of all that she was hit in the head, and then she was, you know, strangled to death or smothered, something like that. Right? I'm not laughing at this. I'm just looking at all the Richard Watts comments in there. Yeah, so anyways, it doesn't sound like they've got much, you know, maybe if they have DNA, you know. See, that's what I've said before. It sounds crazy, but it's almost like pre-1990, if you have a cold case and they're dead, it's almost as if they were sexually assaulted, it turns out to be almost better because of the new technology that you have now, because now if they had done a rape kit, it can lead right to them. But if they weren't sexually assaulted and they were just strangled and it's a cold case, I mean, unless somebody says, oh yeah, you know, I did it, you're not going to find anybody. You're not going to find them. Years of bodybuilding. Oh man. I mean, there's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 Richard Watts comments in a row. Hey, come on, everybody! Everybody knows he can make comments in here. You don't need to patronize him, right? Yeah, you don't need to like patronize him. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so now I'm on to this last one. So I'm going back in time here, okay? No trace found of missing girl. No concrete clues. And if you've read any news, don't go, ooh, you know, I know the news. You know, just let me go through the story, okay? No concrete clues in the disappearance of 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness were uncovered Wednesday despite an intense search by Missoula lawmen with the aid of bloodhound and about 130 volunteers. The youngster, described as precious and very friendly, was last seen about 7 p.m. Tuesday as she was on her way home. The girl's mother, Bonnie Taurus of 501 North 2nd Street, and this is in Missoula, 501 North 2nd Street, Missoula. So there you go. That's the actual house right there. And I guess her name is pronounced Siobhan, not Siobhan, like I just said. Okay, thank you for... there's no way in hell I would guess that. And if any of you think that you would have, you're lying, okay? You would take S-I-O-B-H-A-N and pronounce it Siobhan. Okay, none of you would. All right. A half hour before she was last seen, telling her to come home. That's her mother saw her. A family friend walked with the girl until she reached Whittier School. So let's see where that is. Great, you're not lying, but you wouldn't have said it that way. All right, let's see. Is it not called that anymore? Oh, maybe it's not there anymore. W-H-I-T-T-I-E-R. W-H-I-T-T-I-E-R School. Well, maybe it does exist. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't look like it. Yeah, I just told you it's Siobhan. There's nobody in this chat would have said Siobhan when it's S-I-O-B-H-A-N. Okay? You'd probably say like Siobhan or something. Just like me. I know. Why would you possibly... It's like Russian, right? I mean, look at all that those crazy ass letters they're using. How in the hell does that mean anything? Yeah, you always got someone like Gene Fish that wants to tell everybody what it came from originally. All right. Oh, come on, Lee D. Are you telling me you knew that name was Siobhan? Come on. Oh, God. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Gray, you're so mean. Oh, boy.
Yep, there you go. I don't buy it. I don't think you're an expert, Susanna. Let's see. Right, yeah. It's so common over there. Yeah. Everybody's name is Siobhan over there. No, you're not an expert. You can speak it. You're just not an expert at it. Like, I'm not an expert in English. You know what I mean? So that doesn't make you an expert. It just means you speak Irish like everybody. Like, I speak English, but I'm not an expert in English. I'll leave that up to the English professors. Okay. I guess I have to believe you guys then. It's such a common name out there that everybody just knows how to say it. It's just never heard of it. I guess I should realize that even if there's some Russian words, there might be somebody from Russia that watches and goes, "See, I know how to say it." I don't know. I don't know if you're the closest reference. There's probably somebody else from Ireland in here. There might even be somebody in here who studied Gaelic, right? That would actually be more of an expert than you. Very possible, right? Yep. Yeah, you didn't pronounce it right? No, she doesn't have a degree in Irish. You just never know. All right, well, let me know when I get bailed out. I'll be back in a little bit. I'll turn up the volume. The Zozo's got me a piece of gum. I don't know if watching Outlander counted. Nope, can't pee in jail, can't do shit. I'll just do it from in here. Yeah, so the yeah. Well, there you go. Now I can get out. Thanks. Everyone else wanted to leave me in there for the whole show, I think. Probably not in my best mood today because of the procedures and the news, you know. I don't recommend getting an EMG test. Okay.
Get out, Grey Meanie.
And then I've got this crazy wrist thing going on. You know, it's bizarre, you know. Like nothing hurts, it just doesn't work. That's the weird feeling. Well, they told me that doing that test that it looked like I have damage to the actual nerves, where some of them were cut even, but they'll grow back, and you know, typically we see a 3 to 5% improvement a month, and it might take you a year to 2 years to get back to where you're strong again. Yeah! Man, that's good stuff, huh? Just what you want to hear. Good times. So, you know. It's so weird, yeah, it takes, but I guess the nerves are all growing back together and sort of making their own, you know, working again. And, you know, like right now, the inside tip of this finger right here is really numb. I mean, like really numb right there, and then it kind of goes around inside like that. It's numb all the way inside, all the way to the tip right there. Yeah. I mean, if I had violins, I'd play them for myself, but it's okay. You know, it doesn't hurt, so whatever. You know, we'll just see how it goes over time, I guess. I just think the test itself's crazy with the little shocking. Then they jam needles into your muscles and then turn on a machine and go, oh, yay! All over the screen. Yeah, well, I might switch over to a 7-iron next time. Get a little bit more distance. Yep, one day at a time. Just like the show, right? Okay, so I'm going to get back to this. The girl's mother had seen her just a half hour before she was last seen, telling her to come home. A family friend walked with the girl until she reached Whittier School 3 blocks from her home. The mother reported... Did I get the address back in there? No. So that was 501 North 2nd Street. Come on, what's going on here? So I wonder if is that maybe a school there. Yeah, I don't know if it's that one. This could be that Lowell's grade school. Or the school's just gone at this point. That's more like 6 blocks. Yeah, okay. So it says, according to police reports, a man with curly red hair coaxed the girl into a shack on the north side and tried... Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a different one. The mother reported the girl's disappearance about 8:45 p.m. Tuesday. Lawmen began search, which was intensified after a report of an attempted assault on another 5-year-old in the neighborhood. According to police, a man with curly red hair coaxed the girl into a shack on the north side and tried to molest her. The girl escaped unharmed. The man was described as 18 to 20, about 5'11" and medium build. Steve McGuinness, the missing girl's father, sketched a picture of the assault suspect based on the other girl's description. Man, that's not really a good way to do that. One clue police checked out Wednesday afternoon was discovery of blood near the railroad tracks by one of the searchers. Another lead checked out by police was a report from Paxton school officials that a man had been seen recently near the school asking children to come into his car so he could take a picture of them. Yeah, it's that classic bullshit. And here's a dog out searching for... This is when Susanna's like, oh, I know that guy. That's, right? Tony Dumais follows his 2-year-old bloodhound, or 2-year-old bloodhound, Rebel, in an unproductive attempt by the dog to pick up the trail of Siobhan McGuinness. Who doesn't know that's Siobhan? The dog circled the block surrounding Whittier School Wednesday without detecting the girl's scent. Authorities speculate Siobhan could have been picked up in a car or carried away from near Whittier School. No, I do know. That's why I just said it. I mean, you guys, man, I can't believe none of you know how to say that. This is the sketch, apparently. This is a drawing of a man sought in connection with an attempt to molest a 5-year-old girl Tuesday. The drawing was made by Steve McGuinness. Wow. Well, her dad is a pretty good sketch artist. I mean, that's a good sketch right there. So, I guess that is a good way to do it then. Authorities haven't officially linked the molestation attempt. Yeah, I mean, that's such a dodgy, just, get everybody looking for a guy that looks like that. And then the next day, that was on the 7th, Missoula child is found slain. A 5-year-old girl abducted from a quiet neighborhood in Missoula was found dead Thursday. Authorities said the body apparently had been shoved into a highway culvert and subsequently dragged out by animals. Jeez. The child, Siobhan McGuinness, disappeared late Tuesday. She was last seen walking toward home in her north. Let's see, what day is this? So that's Friday, so it would have been 7th, like the 5th. Authorities said the body was found fully clothed, was sent to Great Falls for pathological examination. She was last seen walking towards home in her north side neighborhood near the railroad tracks. Where is that? Hold on a second. I gotta check. Right there. Where the hell is the... There it is. So she lives right there. Wonder if there's still... Yeah, there's railroad tracks right there. See? A ton. Like it's almost a place where they get loaded up. Look at that. See that? Authorities said the body was found fully clothed, was sent to Great Falls for pathological examination. Officers declined to speculate on the cause of death and said it was not known if she had been sexually assaulted. The body was found near a highway exchange about 10 miles east of Missoula. Authorities said the body apparently was left there Tuesday night since there were no tracks in the snow deposited by a Wednesday storm. So that makes sense. Officers had speculated the girl was the object of a sexual attack. Her disappearance was reported several hours after a man allegedly attempted to molest another 5-year-old girl. The man, described as about 18 to 20 years old with curly red hair and a medium build, has not been located. Siobhan stabbed and assaulted. A 5-year-old girl abducted while walking alone along a street in Missoula died of multiple stab wounds and also had been sexually assaulted, authorities said Friday. The body of Siobhan McGuinness was found Thursday near a highway exchange about 10 miles east of Missoula. County Attorney Robert Descamps said an autopsy showed she had been stabbed repeatedly and beaten on the head. Deschamps and other law enforcement officials told a news conference there have been no arrests in the case. The slaying was the first confirmed death from among the mysterious disappearances of 4 young girls, which have kept Montana law enforcement authorities on edge. Last June 25th, 7-year-old Susan Yeager of Farmington apparently was abducted from a campground tent near Three Forks. Scarcely more than a month later, Karen Tyler, 11, and Jessica Westfall, 10, disappeared also without a trace while riding bicycles along a road near the small community. Well, let me check that out. So that's Karen... Let's see, missing Karen Tyler and Jessica Westfall. Are they still missing? I think they caught the guy in this one. Let's see. Family members of the Carl Randy Bachman's victims attended his parole hearings. Jessica's aunt, let's see, they were absolutely horrific. And he committed, another crime. I think this is a serial killer. So now let's type this in. She's a double murderer. And these are the 2 girls right here, it looks like. No, that's Cheryl. That's a different one. Convicted double murder, Carl Randall. I got the right one here? Let's see. Karen Tyler and Jessica Westfall. Yeah, right there. Bachman was convicted in 1977 of the 1973 slaying of Jessica Westfall, 9, and Karen Tyler, 11. The girls, who were best friends, went missing after riding their bikes to Marion's store in the summer to buy some candy. That's crazy. Oh. Whoa, I just sneezed really loud. That guy had to have killed more people. That's weird. That one's a little bit more similar to the Lyric and Elizabeth case in Iowa, I think. You know, the two girls were on a bike. They went missing. And then they were found. Okay, so anyways, that was a sidetrack right there. So at least that one has closure. The frozen body apparently had been shoved into a culvert and was subsequently dragged out by animals. Police issued an all points alert for a 1968 Cadillac bearing New York license plates. Authorities said the vehicle had been seen in the area where the body was discovered. Siobhan disappeared several hours after a man allegedly attempted to molest another 5-year-old girl. Okay. So I think that was the other. Okay, so the redheaded kid that had the curly red hair, he was actually found and exonerated. He had nothing to do with it. Okay, now then there's this article here on the 14th of April. West Riverside residents are placing locks and bolts on their doors. A stifling touch of fear has crept into the homes in the community east of Missoula since Thursday, when 39-year-old Donna L. Pounds was found shot to death in the basement of her home. The woman put a new lock on her door and had a shotgun near at hand. Another neighbor said he does not believe the killer will revisit West Riverside, but he installed 2 new locks on his doors anyways. Hey, thanks, KNF. Residents in the trailer homes on 3 sides of the Pounds home believe Mrs. Pounds' death is related to the brutal slaying in February of 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness. And actually, the previous article, a juvenile with curly red hair suspected in the February 5th stabbing death of 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness was exonerated. And then I think this one, they said that she was stabbed to death. So it says, in attacking down to 2 leads in the brutal sex slaying of a 5-year-old girl abducted Tuesday. So that's how they're describing it at this point. Freaking monster. And Miss Pounds, the girl lady that was found in the basement, was shot 5 times in the back of the head with a .22 caliber pistol. Okay, then I, of course, how you do it, you get kind of going down a rabbit hole, so then you look up that one. And here's that's that same article right there. And then it turns out that this is a pretty crazy story right here. It almost seems familiar to me, like I've read this before, but Wayne Nathan Nance, known to many as the Missoula Mauler, was a suspected serial killer in Missoula during 1970s and the 80s. Nance is believed to have killed 6 victims in Missoula and Ravalli counties between 1974 and 1986. He has never been tried for a single murder. On April 11, 1974, Nance is believed to have killed Donna Pounds, that's the one we just looked at, in Missoula. He was seen in Pounds' backyard the day of her death and was friends with Pounds' teenage children. Evidence linking him to the crime was found in his home, but he was never charged. About a decade later, the bodies of 3 women were found in different places near Missoula. The women, who could not be identified, were given names to indicate where they were found: Debbie Deer Creek, later identified as Marcy Bachman; Christy Crystal Creek, still unidentified; and Betty Beavertail, later identified as Devonna Nelson. On December 12, 1985, Nance, the serial killer, is believed, listen to how crazy this is believed to have broken in to the Ravalli County home of Mike and Teresa Shook, tied the couple up, and murdered them both before setting fire to the house. 2 items stolen from the house were later found inside Nance's residence. Then on September 3rd, 1986, Nance went to the home of Chris and Doug Wells in Missoula. Nance worked for Doug Wells as a furniture delivery worker. So Nance worked for Doug Wells. After asking Doug Wells for a flashlight, Nance was led into the house where he knocked Doug unconscious. So Nance was led into the house where he knocked Doug unconscious. So that means, when he says led into the house, that means Doug was walking ahead of him. Then he hit Doug in the head. And then Nance tied Chris Wells to a bed, the woman. Then he went downstairs where he beat and stabbed Doug with an 8-inch knife. Believing Doug would die of the stab wound, now I gotta get this off the screen, Nance went back upstairs. So he thought he killed Doug, and he's probably going to go upstairs now and rape Chris. Doug Wells escaped the building. So he actually escaped. He freed himself because he wasn't dead yet. So Doug Wells escaped from the binding, not the building, retrieved a rifle, and went upstairs where he was met by Nance, the serial killer. Wells then shot Nance in the side before Nance retrieved his own gun from nearby. After firing 3 rounds, Nance was struck in the head by Wells' rifle. Wells grabbed Nance's pistol and shot Nance in the head. That's awesome. The couple survived the attack, but Nance died the following day. That's amazing he lived that long. Nance has been suggested as a suspect in the 1974 murder of 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness in Missoula, but was ruled out by DNA evidence. Okay. So that's why I went down that rabbit hole. I thought that was an interesting side story, right? That this other person that may have been the serial killer that maybe killed Siobhan actually killed all these other people, and then he thought he only didn't keep killing because he was careless and didn't check to see if the other victim actually died. He just stabbed him and goes, oh yeah, he's going to die. And then it was Doug Wells, survived. Only because of Doug. Okay, and then this is just about unsolved murders in the area. This is an article from 1978, and there she is right there, Siobhan McGuinness. There's other cases too that they have that are unsolved, but a lot of them I checked and they've been solved since then. And see, they're even talking about pounds right here, even though now they know. Yeah. All right. Thanks, Michelle, for subscribing to the channel. All right, now here it says February 5th, 1974 was a gray day in Missoula with fitful sleet and temperatures that hovered near freezing. The evening news was unsettling. Patty Hearst had been dragged screaming from the Berkeley apartment, the victim of unidentified kidnappers. The national truckers' strike protesting fuel shortages and escalated violently. A driver had been fatally shot in Delaware. 2 bullets had been fired at a mail truck east of Missoula. Roger Carroll, an 18-year-old Eagle Scout, sought in connection with multiple shooting deaths at a dude ranch near Ovando, had been arrested in Florida. Sometime around dusk on that day, 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness, a precious youngster with a wide gap-toothed smile, walked toward her house on Missoula's north side. She wore blue jeans and a purple corduroy coat. Well, why don't they just call that a jean jacket? You know, because we've learned that corduroy means jeans. Someone remembered seeing her near Whittier School, 3 blocks from her house, about 7 p.m. She never got home. Her mother, Bonnie Tarsus, reported her missing about 8:15 p.m. and search began. The next morning, 5 inches of new snow covered the ground. The search was stepped up. 2 days later, in the midst of search involving some 130 volunteers, a county road employee found Siobhan McGuinness' body in a gully near the Tura exit of Interstate 90. Let's see where that is. Okay, so that's I-90. And didn't they say east of there? Let's see. Let me just put a little pin on I-90 real quick. No, I guess it was right there. So near this exit. That's 36 miles. Well, that's Tura, but there's a Tura exit, I guess. I-90. Screw it. I thought Tura would be off, and then you could find the exit, but it's like right off of the... I mean, they're saying Tura's like right in the middle of the road right there. Okay, in the case of McGuinness, we believe we know who did that. See, that's crazy. They're saying back here they know who did that. He was within a gnat's lash of confessing, but we could never quite get it. The suspect has never been convicted of a number of offenses other than murder, and the last I knew, he was in prison. The Wooten investigation yielded 2 or 3 strong suspects, said Deschamps. But again, the evidence was inconclusive, he said. He does not believe any of the suspects poses a particular danger to society. The prime suspect in the... Okay, now they've switched cases again. Now, 2008. Let's go through this document. This is probably one that has more information. The most. Detectives assigned to rework the aging typewritten case file of an unsolved child murder have come and gone through the years, promising leads if turned down blind alleys and suspects, even a sex offender who once seemed on the brink of confessing, have been eliminated by DNA evidence. So that one that they mentioned was eliminated. But the Missoula Police Department has not forgotten about Siobhan McGuinness, a bright and beautiful 5-year-old girl who disappeared from the streets near her North Side home on a February evening in 1974. She was found stabbed to death and sexually abused 2 days later in a snowy culvert near Tura. Detectives Dean Christensen keeps photographs of the little girl on his desk downtown. For me, it has become a little personal, said Christensen, who is heading the most recent investigation into McGuinness' unsolved murders. You try not to let that happen because it can cloud your judgment, but a case like this makes it difficult. We were both born in 1968. If she was alive today, she would be 40 years old. Felony homicide investigations are not bound by any statute of limitations in Montana, meaning a case stays open until someone puts it down. The cases often go cold as time passes and memories fade. The McGuinness case is one of the handful of unsolved murders in Missoula and occurred in an era that saw other lives taken mysteriously. Several of the victims... Yeah, look how cute she was. Including McGuinness's, were considered by some to have been murdered by East Missoula serial killer Wayne Nance. But Nance, who was killed in 1986 during an attempt to murder two others, was also ruled out by DNA evidence, and McGuinness' case remains a puzzle. The advent of DNA technology has yielded a whole new realm of investigative possibilities for police. In 2006, a semen sample helped investigators solve the 30-year-old murder of Kerna Cavallo, a local school teacher who was raped and stabbed to death in her Missoula home. Similar DNA evidence was preserved from the crime scene in the McGuinness case, and investigators have revisited the case several times in an attempt to unearth new evidence and identify new suspects, but they have exhausted every lead. We need help to continue working this case, Christensen said. Okay, and then it leads us to today, where we've got a press conference where this absolutely typical looking killer gets identified here. So here we go. I'm going to play this. I edited out some of they have the worst technical difficulties I've ever seen. Okay, so here we go.
And welcome. Thank you for joining us this morning. We have some great news to share with you all. We have a number of speakers joining us this morning, and as such, we would like you to hold your questions until after we've completed making statements. So please raise your hand when we open up for questioning, and we'll try to provide you with answers. At this time, I would like to introduce Missoula Chief of Police, Jason White.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us today. I am Chief Jason White with the Missoula Police Department. We are here today to discuss the closure of a 46-year-old case. On February 5th, 1974, 5-year-old Siobhan McGuinness was abducted within a few blocks of her Northside neighborhood home. Tragically, 2 days later, she was found deceased near the Tura exit off of Interstate 90. Despite all of the exhaustive hours by detectives over the past 4 decades, the case has remained unsolved and open. In 2019, the Missoula Police Department reached out to the newly formed Missoula County Sheriff's Office Cold Case Squad for assistance. Through modern DNA technology and assistance from state and federal law enforcement partners, the Cold Case Squad was able to identify a suspect. The suspect has been identified as Richard William Davis. Suspect Davis was born on November 7th, 1941, and most recently resided in Cabot, Arkansas. Suspect Davis died in 2012.
Hey, by the way, do you guys like it the way I do it? Like, hey, thanks, Sarita. Yeah, we're really way behind on tonight. Just to let you guys know. If we want to keep up, but do you guys like the way I do it, where I go back in time and just sort of go over it like I would every other case on some of these? Because I think it makes it so much better, where you sort of have a feel for it. Like, you see the house, you kind of have and then boom. Because we always have such bad outcomes, right? Almost every case we do is cold and somebody's dead and there's no answers. So I like to do it the same way, but then at the end, boom, every once in a while we've got the answers. Okay, good.
This was truly a team effort.
Thanks,
we would not have been
Sarita.
able to achieve this closure without the assistance of a number of people, including the initial detectives who documented the crime scene and gathered valuable evidence even before there was DNA technology. And they interviewed.
Yeah, these guys were really struggling. I mean, I'm glad I cut it out because have you watched those commercials by, was it Progressive Insurance? Is that the one that's funny with Flo? Is that her? Have you seen those, the ones that they've got where they're doing like Zoom? It was worse than any of those. It was like absolutely horrible. Like a couple times the sheriff's out there going, "Does anybody hear me? Anybody?" It's actually kind of funny, to be honest with you.
Dozens of witnesses in 1974.
And you can hear somebody talking.
Who identified a suspect vehicle with New York plates and a description of the driver. We'd also like to thank the Missoula County Cold Case Squad, the Montana Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Program, the Montana State Laboratory Forensic Services Division, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Bodie Technology, Family Tree DNA, Gene by Gene, and Othram Incorporated. Finally, and most importantly, to the family of Siobhan, I offer my heartfelt condolences for the tragic loss of your loved one. Undoubtedly, the past 46 years have been a difficult journey.
Thanks, Kubi. Hey, I'm gonna go use the facilities, but I'm just gonna let you guys listen to music for about 2 seconds because I want to hear this whole thing. I wasn't able to listen to all of it earlier. I just could edit it because I could see the breaks, and I'm not even sure I got everything. And your favorite music just for about a minute and a half. Thanks, Kubi. Yeah. My name ain't Gary. It's also not Terry or Jerry or Barry or K. I gotta do one about my name. How you guys always say it the wrong way. I got it, man. I'm gonna be working on this one. I think it's gonna be the other beat, though. I don't know. This one's hard to do one, too. All right, hold on.
The news of identifying a suspect in Siobhan's death has brought many emotions, memories, and feelings about that day back to the surface. We never gave up on Siobhan or finding justice for her. While we are unable to bring the suspect to justice for his crimes, we hope his identification can help bring a small amount of closure to you and hopefully help you continue to heal. I would like to now introduce Missoula County Undersheriff Rich Marcellin.
I'm really sorry, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you for this opportunity on behalf of Sheriff McDermott. This is a big day for us. So back in 1974, the Siobhan McGuinness investigation began as the Missoula City Police Department was first notified of her disappearance.
See, just letting you know how that cut right over to him, there was about 3 minutes of him walking around the room going, hey, what's going on? You know, it was crazy.
A short time later, the Missoula County Sheriff's Office responded east of town where her body was found outside of the city limits. This began a fierce commitment by both agencies to find her killer. That commitment has never wavered, which has been clearly demonstrated here today. The City Police Department was subsequently able to leverage the Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit, and through their collaborative efforts, along with the FBI and their state-of-the-art investigative resources, all law enforcement agencies have been able to see justice prevail and provide closure for all those involved. Just like Chief White, I would like to take this time to personally thank FBI Special Agent Steve Bush, not just for his own personal dedication, but not for, as a representative of the FBI, but also for his own personal dedication to this case. The Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit that has worked this case along with the Missoula Police Department is comprised of 4 retired federal investigators, 3 of whom retired after long distinguished careers with the FBI. These 4 individuals volunteer their time and expertise while working with detectives to solve cases that have gone cold, not only in the Missoula County, but also other jurisdictions around the state as well. The Cold Case Unit is a highly valued resource at the Sheriff's Office, and it is a great honor to sponsor a program that benefits so many as they assist our local city, county, and state law enforcement partners. So our thoughts now turn to the McGuinness family, who have endured this long, arduous journey to finally encounter their own closure. May the completion of this investigation bring you peace. Thank you.
I'd like to now introduce Montana Attorney General Tim Fox.
Thank you, Chief, and good morning.
Yeah, so like right there was some, and there's a whole bunch of times where they introduce somebody and that person never comes on. It's almost like when Flo says, "Can anybody hear me?" with just the mouth in the camera.
Everyone, I'm going to start my comments with giving my heartfelt condolences to the McGuinness family. I see Ona and Stephen there on the screen. I wish I could embrace you, hug you, and cry with you, but we'll let this pandemic subside and hopefully do that again someday very soon. But my condolences to you and through all of the things that you've gone through. Hopefully this gives you some measure of closure. And then probably as important today is to acknowledge again the great work of the Missoula Police Department, Missoula County Sheriff's Office, the FBI, the County Attorney's Office, and of course our Sexual Assault Kit Initiative program and our state crime lab in Missoula for helping bring some measure of closure to Siobhan's family and the Missoula community. So a lot of great work has gone on over the years, and it all began with the initial investigation, which maintained evidence that could be used at a later date, which our fine law enforcement officers in Montana are trained to do. They're dedicated to doing it, and so many have worked so hard for so long to get us to this point today. This case is an example of the excellent teamwork and collaboration among many agencies that assisted detectives to solve the case. The SACI grant through the Bureau of Justice Assistance allows funding for forensic genetic genealogy testing for cold case homicides where a nexus to sexual assault exists, and the McGuinness case fit that criteria. The Montana Department of Justice SACI program facilitated the completion and submission of the Bode lab paperwork to process evidence in the McGuinness case and funded the forensic testing which developed a SNP DNA profile. This enabled detectives to utilize the SNP DNA profile, build family trees, and collect familial DNA reference samples. The crime lab analyzed and compared DNA collected from descendants of the suspect to produce conclusive results. By way of background about our SACI program, when I first took office nearly 8 years ago, across the nation, we in the law enforcement community saw growing concerns over unsubmitted evidence kits. We wanted to take a proactive approach here in Montana, bringing together law enforcement officials, prosecutors, victim advocates, forensic scientists, campus representatives, and even our lawmakers. And I see Representative Kimberly Dudick, who is here on the screen today, and I think will be speaking today. Representative Dudick, thank you for your commitment and dedication to these issues as well. The status of all of those kits that existed in Montana needed to be tested, and then the work with local law enforcement agencies and others to make it happen began. In 2015, my office launched the Sexual Assault Evidence Task Force to determine how many evidence kits had never been submitted to the state crime lab for testing and to develop a plan to address the issue. In 2016, our department received a $2 million National Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Grant Award from the Federal Bureau of Justice Assistance.
Hey, thank you, Jackie Blue.
This grant has been used to test previously unsubmitted sexual assault kits.
Hey, look how perfect that is with the other freak symbol. That was weird.
Strengthen victim services, prevent re-victimization, develop new training materials, create best practices and standards for sexual assault cases, and implement new policies to eradicate the accumulation of untested sexual assault kits. And then in 2019, we brought forward legislation revising how kits are collected, stored, delivered, and tracked. And last summer, we announced a new kit tracking system that marked a significant change in the law, procedures, and practices related to sexual assault kits in Montana. This type of access for victims serves not only as a tracking tool, but provides for better communication among healthcare professionals, law enforcement, and sexual assault survivors across the state. Additionally, we were just awarded a $992,000 grant to continue our important work on sexual assault kits and sexual assault in general.
Good night, Tracy.
This additional funding from the 2020 National Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Competitive Grant Phase 3 will address testing of additional backlogged sexual assault kits and statewide training needs. Funding will...
That's kind of what we're doing when we donate to RAIN now, the backlog of untested rape kits. All right, so when you guys contribute to the channel at the end of the month, I think I'm gonna at least do another 500 to RAIN this month. got to get going on that one. Probably Nick Mech. Maybe give some more back to 500 more back to DNA, to Texas EquiSearch. We kind of haven't done them for a while, although we've given them 5,000 so far this year.
In statewide training needs. Funding will support 3 main activities. Sexual assault kit testing for kits that were not submitted to the crime lab during the transition period from 2016 to 2019. Robust statewide training opportunities for professional responders to sexual assault, and assessment and analysis of the current 2016 and 2017 Montana SACI data, including factors in decline, delayed, or unsuccessful prosecutions of sexual assault. One important objective will be to provide culturally specific training to Montana's tribes in partnership with the Montana U.S. Attorney's Office and the U.S. Department of Justice, National Indian Country Training Coordinator. The Bureau of Justice Assistance will continue to guide the work of the Montana SACI project through its sexual assault evidence model and expert technical assistant. We're proud of the progress we've made together, all of us, and I'm hopeful that at least in some measure, through the perseverance of many and advances of technology, we have found justice for Siobhan 46 years after she was abducted 1 block from home. Again, my condolences to the McGuinness family. We love you. Our heart goes out to you. And I'll now turn it over to my colleague and friend, Representative Kimberly Dudick. And I'm going to have to drop off the Zoom. I'm doing a Zoom with the United States Senator here in about 4 minutes. So take it away, Kim.
Thank you, Attorney General Fox, and thank you for your work in this area. I know we've worked on it together, and I appreciate what you have done. Thank you. My name is Kimberly Dudick, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the mother of Siobhan McGuinness. She wishes to express her deepest thanks to the Special Victims Unit of the Missoula Police Department for their unceasing pursuit and unflagging energy in solving an unthinkable crime that ripped apart our lives and the lives of everyone in Missoula in 1974. She also wishes to thank the combined efforts of the following agencies: the FBI Forensic Genetic Genealogy Team, the Missoula Police Department, the Missoula County Sheriff's Department, the FBI Critical Incident Response Group Behavioral Analysis Unit, the Montana Department of Justice Forensic Science Division, their crime lab, the Montana Department of Justice Sexual Assault Kit Initiative Coordinator, as well as several private agencies that collaborated on the DNA portion of the investigation. She hopes to bring closure and a measure of healing to what, in many ways, can never be healed and certainly never forgotten. She also wants everyone to know that some of Siobhan's ashes are buried up near the end.
That right there was exactly what I always say. It can never be healed. It can never. So the word closure doesn't fit, as I say pretty much on every show that has anything to do with this kind of stuff.
And some thrown from the Higgins Avenue Bridge overlooking what is now Brennan's Wave. Siobhan's spirit is forever linked up near the M, and some thrown from the Higgins Avenue Bridge. Wants everyone to know that some of Siobhan's ashes are buried up near the M, and some thrown from the Higgins Avenue Bridge overlooking what is now Brennan's Wave. Siobhan's spirit is forever linked to 2 focal points of hope and inspiration that are uniquely Missoula. A permanent memorial is currently in the planning stage. Siobhan's parents have teamed up with Zach to create a rooftop sculpture garden, Siobhan's Garden, a living remembrance, a gathering place for healing and making art. We feel confident that everyone in Missoula will want to be a part of making that garden a reality. And if you're interested, please visit zootownarts.org to view the plans and to see how you can help. There's a link for donations to support the memorial. Siobhan's mother requests that in respect for her privacy, all good wishes and comments be made to me at kdudick.ppir@gmail.com or the Facebook page Honoring Siobhan, created by Siobhan's half-sister. You can also Google Honoring Siobhan, and you will see a link to the fundraiser and to the Facebook page. Thank you very much, and thank you all for your work.
I'd like to now introduce Una.
You get that right? It's Siobhan, you idiots. How could you ever pronounce it any way else than that? Jesus.
McGuinness.
There we go.
Hello. I just would like to say thank you to so many people that worked on this. You know, of course, I was born after Siobhan had passed, and I never met my sister. But I'm so grateful for the many caring, dedicated professionals that worked on this. You know, as a family, you always hope that the things that you hold close to your heart would also be shared by law enforcement officials. And so many professionals in a case like this, but you can never, you know, expect that. And we are just completely overwhelmed by the science, the dedication, the hard work that has gone into everything that you have done. It really means the world. My dad never thought that he would see this happen in his lifetime. And so it's a big deal. It's a really big deal for us. And it's a huge deal for the Missoula community. This affected almost everybody that lived there at that time, and probably still some today. It certainly affected our family for many decades, and it's just amazing what you all have put together.
Yeah, it was a joke. If you just got here late, early on, I couldn't pronounce it. And everybody's like, oh, it's Siobhan. Oh, yeah, it's Siobhan. Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't think most people know that that's pronounced Siobhan. Okay? So I was just joking back to that. But if you weren't here, then it wouldn't be funny.
Together and have done. I would
Probably
also
wasn't funny
like
even
to
if you
say
were.
briefly that the family of the suspect are very, 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 very kind people. They did not have to, you know, cooperate or care about these things, but they were willing to do this for us, and they have reached out to us. They sent us a very lovely statement to our family from theirs, and they are also experiencing their own new family tragedy. And so I would like to ask that, you know, anybody who is looking at this case, please also respect their privacy, as they are healing right now as well and had absolutely no.
Yeah, it's a really easy name to pronounce once you know that it's pronounced Siobhan, right? Right, Colin? But just looking at it, most human beings aren't going to go, oh yeah, that's Siobhan, right? You admit that, right, Colin? Colin sounds like one of the journalists from CNN.
No idea that somebody that they loved would have been capable of such a thing.
Thank you.
My name is Colin. I mean Karen. He's never Darren or Aaron.
I'd like to now introduce Steve McGuinness, Siobhan's father.
Hello, everyone. I'm glad you're all here taking part in this press release. I have a brief statement to read,
Fairly
which
easy.
I think sums up
A fairly easy name to pronounce, I'm afraid.
how everyone has felt over the last 46 years. To all of our friends, both Bonnie's and mine, in Missoula.
Well, no, but there's Siobhan is spelled many different ways. That's just just how it's pronounced, I guess, in Ireland or something, right? But you know, Siobhan has a CH in it. You know, there's probably an SH version of it. So I wouldn't say that, oh, if you had a friend in high school, it was spelled that way.
Missoula Police Department, Detective Division, especially Dean Christensen. 46 years is a very long space of time.
Good for you, one of a kind. That's
to
so
be
interesting.
In a state of unending grief and immense sorrow for one is beautiful and amazing as Siobhan. I'm sure she has been alive in our memory for all those years and remains so today. I remained in Missoula for the better part.
Aren't you Charlie Ann? Oh, wait, you're trying to say Charlie Ann, right? Or is it Leah Ann?
Part of 30 years, surrounded by a much needed support system of valued friends and family, moving to Spokane in 2013 at the behest of my daughter, Una, Siobhan's half-sister, who, if I may say so, has been a pillar of strength for those tough years with her love and concern for my physical and emotional
Well, then spell
welfare.
it that way.
So we are all relieved.
See, listen, if you're going to put phonetically in there, hey, everybody, it's Charlie, you know, like that, spell it out phonetically for everybody so we just know how to say it. Right, so just say, is it Charlie Ann then? Oh, it's Charlie Ann. Okay, that's what, okay. So just Charlie. Then don't put the dash there because it makes people want to say that there's two things. I would just say Charlie. You know what I would do is I would put Charley and then Ann. Then everybody will say, oh, Charlie Ann. It would be really simple for everybody. Instead it's, you have a char and then a dash and then a Lee and then, so it makes it hard.
The positive identification of Siobhan's murderer, and our prayers go out to his family.
Or just get rid of the
hoping
dash.
that they will have the same sense of closure we have so long awaited. Thank you, everyone involved in solving the case.
Thank you, Steve.
Oh, weird, yeah. I guess it is Una.
I'd like to now open it up to any questions.
I should put it back in the bloopers later for you guys.
Peter C., you are now allowed to talk.
Oh, I think that I screwed up here. I can tell. A lot of silent time. Peter C., you're allowed to talk. I'll move it forward.
Should be able to talk.
You should be able to talk. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me?
Peter C., we have you unmuted on our end.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. That guy sounds like he's like, wow, do you hear that shit? Can you hear me now? Just from FM 92.7. This is FM 92.7. Yes, tonight we'll be listening to... That's what he sounds like. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Well, I'd like to say your name right, though. I mean, now listen to that again when he pumps in here. Listen to this.
Okay. I was wondering if any investigation has turned up what Mr. Davis was doing in Missoula at the time. Was he working here, just passing through, or do we know?
It appears as though he was just passing through.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Z100.
Maritza Giorgio?
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a couple questions, if that's okay. I'm wondering if he has been convicted or suspected of any other crimes.
He has not, but we have provided all of his information through the FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. So all of the information that we have been able to uncover has been provided through the FBI to nationwide.
She was more like a beauty queen from a movie
So if they too
scene.
have unsolved cases, they will be able to get the information that we have.
Oh wait, I'm gonna
And this has
I'm
been
gonna
one
get
of those
dung.
cases that's just haunted detectives.
I'm gonna get dung for that because it was so perfectly sung that they're gonna say, "Oh, that's a violation."
Who've worked on it, and Mr. McGuinness just mentioned Dean Christensen, just one of them. Have some of those now retired detectives been given notice of this? And if so, I imagine it's a mixed emotion, but what's their reaction?
Yes, we have reached out to every single Missoula Police Department employee that worked on this, either from a patrol through detectives, and they are relieved to finally have closure to this case, as we all are.
And lastly, I'm just wondering how many cold cases does Missoula currently have?
Oh,
I do not have that number.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You need a freaking abacus for that one.
Spencer Shocked?
Hi, this is actually Angela Marshall with ABC Fox Montana. I was just curious if you could give us any other information that ties Richard William Davis to Siobhan McGuinness's killing, other than the fact that he was just passing through the area. Any other information that might have come to light as to why he was in
Well, the
Missoula,
DNA, right?
perhaps his occupation? identification?
Well, the DNA. That's all that matters.
family?
Who gives a shit anything else?
So we don't have any information as to why he was here. He passed away in 2012, and in speaking with his family, we aren't able to uncover that. The only other link that we have is the suspect vehicle description from 1974, and the vehicle that he was driving at the time matched that description.
Oh, we read that. Remember
as
that?
well as the physical description.
We actually
given
read
by
that
those
part.
Two very key witnesses.
Interesting. Remember, there was the vehicle that was seen in the area. It was kind of hanging out in the area where her body was put. Remember that? We saw that. Interesting. So that actually made it into the newspapers all the way back then. Yeah, I think it was a Cadillac.
Connor McCauley.
That actually came up after I recorded that, by the way.
Can you guys hear me?
Here, look at this. Right here.
Perfect.
I'll go
so
back.
are charges now filed
There it is.
against Richard Davis, even though he's deceased? That might be a county attorney question.
No, we cannot file charges on someone who's
Can we get a spelling on Steve Bush, the special FBI agent
I think
who
it's
assisted?
STEVEBUS.
Yeah, we'll provide that here. in a
H
second.
maybe, or is it BUSCH? I'm just guessing.
And then you guys talked about expanding the efforts to look into more cold case sexual assault files. What kind of is being done to do that?
How do you
What
spell
kind of are those
Steve,
expanded
sir?
efforts looking like?
So now that the Missoula County Sheriff's Office has their cold case squad stood up, we will continue to work collaboratively with them. And any cases that we have that meet that criteria, we will look out for our continued partnership to move that forward and continue working with them. So
That was a joke,
they were
Jen.
an exceptional
That's a joke,
resource,
Jen.
and we continue to
Man.
look forward to working.
Hey, Jen, every time you type something like that in, it makes it seem like you didn't get that was dry humor. Like, how do you spell Steve? You thought I really didn't know how to spell Steve? Look, it's spelled S-T-E-A-V, right? Or S-T-E-E-V, or... Come on, Jen.
I have the spelling for Bush.
It's called dry humor.
B-U-S-C-H.
Yeah, see?
Perfect, thank
B-U-S-C-H. That was the other
you.
one.
You're welcome.
Right, but you typed it in like I was actually literally asking, how do you spell Steve? Come on.
Spencer shocked again. I know that's not who you are, but that's the name listed.
Yes, it's Angela Marshall one more time. I was just wondering if you could elaborate more about how Davis's DNA tied him to the crime and how that was
Because they found it on her, you idiot.
using genealogy and genetic testing.
So that was all handled by the state crime lab and our partners with the FBI. So there was DNA evidence that was collected back in 1974 that we reanalyzed and started the analysis process in September of 2019. And through that, they were able to identify some potential family members that matched the suspect's DNA. And it was through cooperation with the suspect's family that we were able to get information that conclusively linked suspect Davis to Siobhan's murder.
And you said that was back in September of 2019?
September 2019 is when we were able to lift another set of DNA from evidence that was collected that day.
Yeah, look, right here. Police issued an all-points alert for a 1968 to 1970 Cadillac bearing New York license plates. Authorities said the vehicle had been seen in the area where the body was discovered. Isn't that crazy? And he actually owned that vehicle. So, man, shows you that sometimes people get some good intel in there.
Yes, thank you. One more quick question.
listen
You
to
just
that.
mentioned there were two important witnesses
Yes, thank you. You just witnessed. I mean, I can't even do it. It's too good.
that came forward to provide more details. Are these two individuals, are they still alive? Are they here in Missoula? Or is there anything you can share with us about them that wouldn't violate their privacy?
I do not have their information at this time. Sorry, Peter.
Thank you.
Sheila, are you able to get back on with us?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Thank you. Thanks so much. Chief White, could you please tell us who is in charge of the cold case efforts at the police department and also at the Missoula County Sheriff's Department?
So the cold case that is handled by the detectives that are work the case, and if someone retires, then it gets transferred to a new detective. At that program, the detective division is overseen by Captain Mike Collier. So he is the one that handles the day in, day out supervision of that. As far as the Sheriff's Department, I would have to defer to Under Sheriff Marcelli to see who runs it over there at the Sheriff's Department.
Could you tell us a little bit more about the cause of death in this case, please?
I do not have that information in front of me. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Chief, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, Rich.
Okay, my apologies. So in answer to Sheila's question, Captain David Conway is, he's the one that oversees our cold case unit. So we do have the 4 members, and they've been working kind of remotely since during this COVID time, but they've been still actively working some different cases as we've all been dealing with this. So there's the 4 of them, and then it's overseen by Captain Conway and then Lieutenant Robert Kennedy.
Yes, I'd like.
Sheila, do you have a follow-up?
I do. I was going to ask, there was a obituary notice in the paper yesterday regarding a reserve deputy, last name Timmons, who it said was very involved in cold case investigations for the Missoula Sheriff's Department. Under Sheriff Maricelli, can you confirm that Timmons was involved in this investigation or not?
Actually, she was not involved in this particular one. So
thank you.
She actually wasn't.
Jay Smith, you should be able to unmute. Jay Smith, you should be able to unmute.
Yeah, you see all those kind of comments right there, Christola, are right on the verge of like being passive aggressive. Do you ever notice that? Yeah.
And that's all I have raising hands. Here we go. One more. Angela?
Yes, thank you. I just have one more additional question. And the question that I want to ask is, knowing now that Richard Davis has been tied to the killing of Siobhan McGuinness.
Yeah, but here's the thing, Christola. Just to let you know, because I know you're clueless on this stuff. Couldn't you have easily just told the story like this? Watch. Hey, Greg, my son said, hey, you know that guy you listened to? He sounds like that jack-o'-lantern on the porch, right? But instead you add the other stuff in there, just as that little passive-aggressive dig that you always do. Okay? Do you understand that, Christola? Yeah, you always throw those little things in there, and you think nobody's paying attention, but they do. They see it. That's why there's raps made about you.
With other agencies across the country to determine if he is responsible for other killings across the country.
Christola, she's like Ebola.
And so, can you elaborate on any parts of those investigations?
So we are unaware of any other ongoing investigations. However, we have provided all of his information to the Federal Bureau of Investigation through their Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. So that information is made available to all law enforcement agencies across the country.
It doesn't matter that he
so
said
if they
you-
have an unsolved case, then maybe there's some information in
there
that
it is.
bulletin that would help them with their case. But at this point in time, we have not had any law enforcement agencies reach out to us to provide us with or ask us for any additional information.
Yeah, she's like Ebola. She's a pain in my a-hola.
Last call for questions.
There we go. Polly Katowski should be able to unmute.
Yes, I have one last question.
Hi.
Please. Wait.
In response to Angela's question that she just asked about the national search, has the DNA been uploaded to CODIS and has information on Siobhan's case been put into VICAP
No, I
to make
deleted
it
it.
easier to search for other law enforcement agencies?
That information is contained in that VICAP notice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What does that mean, Kim?
Thank you all for joining us today. I've had several requests for copies of the photographs that are on display behind me, and I am working on making those available. Otherwise, anything else can be directed to me. My name is Sergeant Travis Welsh, the Public Information Officer for the Missoula Police Department. Thank you all again, and have a good day.
Oh, what case are you talking about? Well, there you go. That was great. Now, like, you know what? Maybe for fun, let me pull this out now. Here, hold on a second. Let's see. Where's some of that funniness? Yeah, right here. This is good stuff.
Rich, you're muted.
Can you hear me? Oh.
Rich, this is Tim. Place your mouse over the lower left corner of your Zoom screen. You should see a microphone, and you click on it and unmute.
Is this not like the commercial or what? Look at this. This is hilarious. It's the bloopers. Oh, this is great. Look at, hey. Oh, look at right here. Now watch this. Watch this part. This is beautiful.
Rich, you're unmuted now, so you should be able to talk.
Hey, am I muted? Can anybody hear me? Hey, thanks, Lee D. Man, we got to have a last-minute surge here to get me anywhere near something. Look at he's like, screw it. Crap.
All right. Well, we're working out the Zoom issue.
Hey, here. Can you come here?
Rich, you're off of mute. You can talk now.
They were going on. I have no sound.
Yeah, you got it now, Rich.
That's not
Bye, Rich.
No.
You're good, Rich. You're on.
This is exactly like that commercial with Flo, right? That's how they came up with it.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, look at that. Can you hear me even?
Talk.
Give me a thumbs up, Chief, if you can hear me. Okay. I'm really sorry, guys. I'm having some technical difficulties. I just wanted to start out by saying thank you for this.
I wouldn't say he's a doofus. He just does not, they don't use Zoom all the time. You know what? I'm glad that sheriffs and they're not familiar with Zoom. I think they should be out doing something else.
Opportunity on behalf of Sheriff McDermott. This is a big day for us. So back in 1974, the Siobhan McGuinness investigation began as the Missoula City Police Department was first notified of her disappearance. A short time later, the Missoula County Sheriff's Office responded east of town where her body was found outside of the city limits. This began a fierce commitment by both agencies to find her killer. That commitment has never wavered, which has been clearly demonstrated here today. The City Police Department was subsequently able to leverage the Sheriff's Office Cold Case Unit, and through their collaborative efforts, along with the FBI, and their state-of-the-art investigative resources, all law enforcement agencies have been able to see justice prevail and provide closure for all those involved. Just like Chief White, I would like to take this time to personally thank FBI Special Agent Steve Bush, not just for his own personal dedication.
And that's Steve Bush, as in B-U-S-C-H. Thank you very much. That's my radio voice. Just a little bit deeper. You know, you don't try to talk too loud. Maybe if you have a little bit of a nasally sound too. Yeah, anyways, great that they solved this case, you know. Of course, the guy's dead. How many have we had now so far where the DNA has solved the case, but the killer's dead? I think this is like the 5th one that we've come across. Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, Crystal. It's my choice to keep putting you on timeout because your brain's a little off sometimes. Okay? So, have fun. We'll see you in 5 minutes. Well, anyways, hope you guys thought those were interesting. I'm gonna get out of here right now. That was probably the worst night though for our end of the month goals that I've ever had. Maybe it was the politics stuff at the beginning. Who knows? Yeah, I've been trying to get you guys to laugh. Been trying to do it. That's part of my... I was actually talking about today. I have sort of this true crime show, but then, there's sort of other stuff going on too. You know? Yeah. I know it sucks. I just want people to realize... Oh, there you go, Kubi. Now we're... Yeah. Only the 8th worst of the year. Thank you, Kubi. Let's see. What else is going on? I don't know. Not much. Oh, there we go. Sarah M. and Kubi. You just put us into a, sort of a reasonable night where you go, okay, well, let's... Yeah, you guys should check out the 3 Minute Mysteries on episode 4 of the Allyson Watterson case. And we're all done recording that, by the way. Oh, well, thanks, VP. Yeah, we're going to do the Halloween. I'm going to get my outfit on, and we'll still do the donation night, okay? So everybody get ready for that one. That's always a big, makes a big difference. I end up being able to donate usually like $700 extra because of that.
We'll give more end of week.
Yeah, and then you guys should check out, even though, some people like the narrator, some don't, but on the, let's see, Scene of the Crime, that case is nuts, man. No, that's okay. Don't worry about it, Jay. You're always, a lot of you are always helping out. Okay? I'm not talking to anyone in specific. I'm just saying. Oh, hey, by the way, Jade, I don't know if you were here earlier, but I did my EMG test today. Those aren't fun at all, man. You guys really talk those. Thanks for doing that, though. But man, it's like, let me think. So a real mild, let's see, what do you call those things? Static. When you get a static electricity shock.
a mild version of that. Then they turn it up a little bit and you got a medium version of that. Then they turn it up more and it's a harder zap. I just saw them type in zap. A harder one. Okay, and then they do that in all these different spots on your arm. It's just really, it just makes you want to cringe. But then they did one up here, Jay. So he did one right up here, right where the nerve root comes, all of the, basically the plexus comes out right here. And first she put it in there with those two little electrodes, and it went snap. And I go, okay, that wasn't that bad. That wasn't that bad. And then he goes, wait, I don't think he did it right. Then he gets it in there, pushes it in there, and goes, bang! I mean, it was like 100 times more powerful than any of those other harder shocks. And my whole body just shot up in the air, and I go, what the? And they go, okay, good, we got it that time. Man, I'm glad they don't tell you what's about to come on that one. And then they start doing this shit where they take these really thin needles, and I don't know if you guys can see this, but like my arm's really way smaller than it was because it's hard to use. But well, anyways, these little black marks, they marked all around on my arm and everything. Then they stick a thin needle inside your bicep, and then while the needle's in your bicep, they go, okay, just do a slight curl, don't do a lot of effort. Now do as hard as you can, yeah, while this needle's sticking in your freaking arm, right? Hey, thanks, Susie B. The political... Yeah, that's okay. We're all, listen, this channel's like a family, and we argue sometimes, and we bitch at times, but nobody ever cancels each other, right? Except for the losers. They're the ones that go, oh, I'm good, you don't want it, don't ever come back because you... It just doesn't happen. Now, there's people that come in here, and they trash the channel, and they're out of here in 2 seconds. So that's not part of the family type of thing. And thanks. Was it iCharm69? Or Lucky Charm? No, Lucky
baby,
Charm.
Ha ha ha.
What, did you hear the way it read that? It went, sarcastic laugh. Do that again. God. AKA Big Baby, ha ha ha.
You're great, Gray.
Well, thank you. Yeah, so check it out. They stick the needle in your arm, and they have you, while this needle is freaking in your bicep, you got to do a hard a curl as you can. And then but here's the thing. This is what, oh God, just, when you get those, somebody gives you a shot and you feel the needle in you? See, that's what it's like. They stick it in there. At first it's still, and then they kind of wiggle it around to try to get this frequency going. And as soon as they get the frequency, they go, okay, now do those things. So you did it in your bicep first, and then they stick it into your, then they put it in my tricep back there. Oh God, I'm just thinking about it. And then once into sort of like my forearm area here. Ah, geez. And then one time in between like the thumb and shit right there. And then another one in my shoulder, and then one in this little neck area. Yep, Lucky Charm. Well, hell, you guys just made it almost pretty much a normal night now. That was amazing right at the end there. Thank you. But I'm telling you guys, it's not like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. It's just not very comfortable at all. I won't sugarcoat it and say, oh God, listen, you watch those YouTube videos, it looks like they're having a spa day. That's bullshit, okay? This lady's sitting there on the edge of the thing going, oh yeah. And then the guy jams a needle into her arm and she's totally still. Oh, everything's wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, okay. But it was good times there, Jay. So it's not like horrific. It's just really, like, I don't like needles, for example. I'm sort of weird with needles. So if I cut my finger off, I would be okay. Like if it was bleeding all over the place. And then, but if somebody sticks a needle or, a finger prick or sticks a needle in it, then it's weird. I don't like it. I'm getting more used to it now, though. Yeah, it's really not fun. It feels awful. Little zip, clack. It's like a snapping shock in different muscles. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to tell you is it turns out, the sheath that goes around your nerves? See, that's what they were originally thinking, that maybe that got stretched, and then because that's, the nerves are affected by that. But it turns out that he said that it looks like I actually have nerve damage where a few of the nerves got cut, but they're growing back together and healing, and we should see 3 to 5% strength improvement each month. And it might take a year to 2 years to get back to where you're really strong again like before. Isn't that beautiful? Good stuff. Good stuff. I don't know. Well, the thing is, my nerves were so tight in the foramen openings that I could just see them if they were just trying to get in there. If something squished it, whatever, or it was the strapping down. I don't really... all those things are explained as complications beforehand. I'm not one of those people that looks for a way to like sue somebody I think he did a good job on the surgery part. He said he could pass a tool through the opening after he was done, like easily. So I was like, oh, that's great. But something happened where it stretched something. I probably already had some bad nerves in there. And anyways. Hopefully, we'll see you guys in a year and a half. Well, no, but I'm not going to get foot drop because that's not what I have. Oh, you're talking about... Well, I heard that just the other day. Actually, when I was playing golf, somebody said that when you do back surgery, sometimes they cut this one nerve, and then you get that foot drop thing, but then it slowly recovers over time. Yeah. Yeah, a year and a half. Yep. Maybe it makes you a better swimmer, though, huh? You did say if I had access to a pool. I used to be a competitive swimmer. But I haven't swam in a long time. But maybe that gives me an excuse to go swimming again. Swimming's so easy and fun, I just don't swim where I'm food, like in Australia. I wouldn't go swimming in the ocean there. I like knowing that I'm not somebody, some animal's not looking at me licking its chops. You know what I mean? Or South Africa. Probably wouldn't go swimming down there too much. Yeah. Yeah, well, it's the C6, C7 that comes out there. See, my left index finger on the outside and thumb are numb. But I can feel they're just a little bit numb, right? So hopefully that goes away relatively soon. I think it was the brachial plexus coming out of there. Me too. I hope I get more better too. I know a lot of you guys are going to have similar shit. So I hope all of you feel better too. It's kind of shocking sometimes when you hear, oh, I got this, I got that. So what happened to you just now, Kubi? Is it one of those things where it's where you fall to the ground and you can barely move, or just that typical one where it's like, ah, crap, you can't walk very good, but you can still move around? I had one that was totally debilitating immediately. I fell to the ground, couldn't breathe, and then it slowly came back, the breathing, but I had to walk like a Neanderthal for 2 weeks, and then that hurt my neck. So then I had a bad neck and walk like a Neanderthal. So at that point I looked like, I think it was like one of the early hominids at that point, even before a Neanderthal. It's like 8 million years ago, probably more like Lucy. I don't know what you're talking about, Cristola. You never really make a lot of sense to anybody. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. It's always a little bit out there. Yeah. I mean, I think I might get what you call slip disc sometimes too, where you're doing something else and oh shit, and then it gets kind of really sore, stiff, hard to really do anything. But I had that one thing I had that one time, it was something different than those. But here's what I would do, Kubi, if I was you. I would get an inversion table and use it all the time. Like use it every single day for 2 or 3 minutes and hang completely vertical, not at an angle. Let your body completely dangle from your feet. And I bet you those issues will go away forever, because I don't ever have those really bad ones anymore because of that. And when you're hanging from the inversion table, when you first start using it, you'll have these big like pow, by just your vertebrae finally after all those years are getting the negative pressure. It's awesome. They're only like $250 too, so they're not, get them at Costco. And here's the thing is I know that they actually work because I spoke to a neurosurgeon, I don't know, 5 years ago about it. And she goes, oh, God, you know what? I would recommend an inversion table for every single person. And I would have people use it when they're younger all the way up till they're older. Because that would just completely, amazingly, your whole life, you'd always be doing the negative pressure. Oh, yeah? Oh, did they say you can't use one? You could try using it. Unless they said you can't use an inversion table. Boarding. Oh, really? Jesus. Great friends of yours, huh? I snapped my femur snowboarding, and my friends said they'd hurry to pick me up. Well, they spent an hour boarding, then picked me up. The nurse at the first aid was shocked I was all woozy. Well, you were probably in shock yourself, weren't you? Were you just... nobody else was going to help you, though? Or were you just, like, way out in the middle of nowhere? No, I think they pretty much help. Yeah? I mean, unless you had a doctor tell you not to do it, I wouldn't, I think if you just sort of have normal stuff, they're great. But people, I like their idea, though, that people should use them from like younger ages all the way up until adulthood. I think that would eliminate a lot of people's back problems, because a lot of your problems is just your constant pressure on the discs over your whole life, and then they start wearing away. But if you daily did, reverse pressure, seems like that would help a lot. I'm not a doctor though, so that's just what that lady told me. Yep. All right. Well, anyways, I gotta go because I gotta get this. There's this TV issue we're having. My wife can't watch television because we have to. This one broke, I think. Probably end up having to get a new one now then. Oh yeah, jeez. Well, I hope you guys thought that was okay. I don't think I was being that mean at the beginning of the show on the politics. I'm just talking about, I want people to be honest with themselves when they say that the Democrats would also have put through a nomination with the exact same amount of time if they had the presidency and the Senate, okay? Let's just all be honest there. And once we're honest on that, we can have regular discussions on it. Yes, thank you guys. I'll let you guys chat in here for a little bit. And sounds like you need to get some new friends there, Jay. Man, that's crazy. Man. How long were you sitting there for, though? All right, everybody. I'm going to hit the wrap button, but let's see. How's this work? Do the wrap, and then I'll play that music for you guys. Man, that's crazy. Jesus. All right, everybody. So make sure that you wear your mask, maintain your social distancing, and wash your hands whenever possible. All right? Wait, let me do my radio voice. Wait, hold on. Let me try it with the... see if I can bust out the... with the old... Yes, everybody. Make sure that you wash your hands, wear a mask, and maintain your social distancing. That's a great way to ensure the safety of all human beings on the planet Earth. That it again. Wear a mask, maintain your social distancing, and wash your hands as often as possible. Back to you, Jim. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime gonna
Gary, Larry, Terry, or Gary, or Gary, or Larry.
Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna
What do you mean? My name is Terry, or Gary, or Larry, or Sally,
and I'm always gonna be a pup protector, fool deflector, interceptor, and I'm meaner than a spectre with a vector on his pector. With all respect, y'all.
What do you mean?
I have a temper.
I'm not Jerry.
I have
I'm
no
not Larry.
agenda.
I'm not Sherry, or Carrie, or Larry, or Larry.
Without the blender, and in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Hey, that wasn't too bad there, Mary Lou. It's kind of like a new rap.
All right, everybody?
Yeah, I've been working on it for a while. I'm trying to figure something out.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. All right, good night, Mary Lou.
Hello? What the hell was that?
I was just kind of happy singing you a song.
Well, don't ever do it again. Jesus, that was terrible.
You're so mean.
Oh, boy. You're making me sad by you crying.
Oh my god, you two are freaking nuts. Alright? Alright. Now you can guys listen to your favorite music of all time, and that is...
Hey! Grant sent me in here to thank everybody. He forgot. Thanks, Miss something Rodriguez 58, Lee D, One Sly Angel, Zozo, Linda Howe, and what Grant always says is, like, what is it, Linda Howe of the, something about cattle mutilations and, crop circles, sure, yeah. Lee D, Catty Corner, Zozo again, yay, Zozo, she's just like me. Carolina T, KNS, Sarita, Kubi, Resin Kubacek, Jackie Blue, Lee B, Kubi again, yay, wow, Sarah M, VP, Susie B, and Lucky Charm 69, man! That's awesome, everybody! I'll let Ray know! What do you mean, no? You're just like me, Zozo! Exactly the same!
Yeah, she really is, isn't she? Almost a clone. In fact, if Gray was ever to make a 3D model, I think it would look just like you.